Hello, everyone. I'm Megan Jones. I grew up in Cape Breton, but I now live in New Lowell, Ontario, with my partner and our 9-year-old son. I was raised in the Roman Catholic Church, but in my younger years, I left the church, but I found my way back. I found my way to the United Church during my time in the military while I was serving as a military police officer. And it was during a deployment overseas in Afghanistan when I began to fully understand my call to ministry and also to chaplaincy. And I will be forever grateful to those United Church military chaplains who mentored me and they introduced me to this United Church community, a place where I would be welcomed and nurtured and challenged, and a place where I found my purpose and also my voice. I completed an MDiv at Emmanuel College, and I enjoyed my student placement with a wonderful community at the Creemore Pastoral Charge over these past 2 years. I am excited to be called to chaplaincy with the Canadian Armed Forces, and thank you to everyone who has supported me throughout this journey. To my home congregation of Grace United in Napanee, to my supervisor, Reverend Major Neil Parker, to Reverend Major Jim Short, who first helped me to discern my call, to my circle of accompaniment, to the members of the Conference Assessment Board, and especially to my family and friends, and finally, all praise and thanks to God. So when I think about a covenant, and when I think about covenantal relationships, of course, I think about those divine covenants that are woven throughout our scripture, the covenants that show us again and again that God is seeking a relationship with us, that God is seeking connection. And these covenants, they provide us with a framework of a relationship with God, but also with each other and creation. And not only for our ministry, but I believe also for our lives as Christians. Covenants are a chosen relationship. They are a partnership entered into freely and not simply a contract. They are relationships based on a loyal love that flows both ways and is blessed by the outpouring of God's grace. And such a relationship, it respects the integrity of those involved. A covenant has mutual commitments and obligations, and it is not to be entered into for personal gain or advantage, nor does it gloss over the past. Rather, a covenant acknowledges the history of our past relationships. It recognizes those past failures and wrongs and hurts, while at the same time it strives to walk into the future together, building trust with each step. So these are the relationships we should strive for, and not just in our ministries, but also in our lives, because God is calling for us to commit to them wholeheartedly, because they are transformational. They help us to grow. They help us to change the way that we see the world and those around us, and they connect us together. As Rabbi Jonathan Sachs said, when we strive to live our lives in such a way, we come to understand that we are covenantally linked to God, to those around us, to creation, but also to those who will come after us. So in a covenant, we seek to help others, we seek to serve, and we also allow them to help us. And it's not for personal gain, but rather because we see each other as God's beloved. And living in a covenant together, we may reflect the love of Jesus Christ back out into the world.